We just wrapped up an amazing transatlantic cruise, 13 days, in which the first 6 days we spent straight at sea. We'll have a link to that video below. But on the 7th day, we finally found
land
on the Portuguese Azores island called Ponta Delgada. This video, we're going to take you along with us of how we experienced that port day. Ready?
Let's go. Hi, welcome to the adventures of
Dave
and Nikki. We're a retired couple traveling around the world on a budget of $5,000 a month. And this channel is all about sharing our experiences with you. And we'd love to hear your experiences too. We just finished a transatlantic cruise, 14 days from Florida to Barcelona. And after 6 long days at sea, we visited our first port of call, Ponta Delgada, which is on the archipelago, I hope I said that right, of the Azores. It's the largest city there, and it was just beautiful. There were a lot of shore excursions available for different prices, food tours, walking tours, driving up to the volcanic calderas to see some beautiful lakes. But we're determined to stick with our budget goals, so Dave and I decided to explore for ourselves.
The ship docked at port at around 11 a.m. local time. We have roughly 6 hours to explore the island before we got to get back on board and take off to the next port. This is a really convenient port to be because we can just walk right off the ship and be right there on the port of this island. No need for any tenders or get on little tiny boats. The weather forecast was pretty nice. It's sunny at the beginning, but there was a mild forecast of rain toward the end of that day. So we had to be prepared for it.
We'd love to hear from the viewers. Have you visited this port of call, or what would you do for an excursion? Or just what were your favorite ports of call that you visited on a cruise? Let us know in the comments below. We love to hear from you. We did do a lot of beautiful video. Let's take a look and show you how we spent our day there.
This was breakfast time on the boat right before we can get off. We're slowly docking and it's really good to see land. What a beautiful panoramic of the city. Basking in the sun. Alright, as we walk off the boat, there are no tenders and it's just a clear path right to the city center. Nikki picked up a map, and since we're not getting any excursions, we're able to just do it like a quick little self-guided tour.
There were a couple of ATMs available right when we got off, so we stopped for a few quick euros, just in case we needed to pay cash.
Yeah, this whole trip we haven't stopped at all, so we only had US dollars in our pocket. But armed with money, we're ready to rock and roll.
Look out.
The city center is due north along the coast from the cruise port. So we're just gonna walking around and just basking in the sights and energy of this new city.
And you don't need a cab or an Uber when you get here. You can walk right into town. Ponta Delgada is the largest city in the Azores archipelago, and it began as a small fishing village in the 15th century. Over the centuries, it developed into a vital port and a commercial hub for transatlantic trade. The city reflects a blend of volcanic island and Portuguese architectural influence. There's Baroque churches, and everywhere you see the basalt and limestone pavements, the black and white pavements. They're distinctive black and white stone streets, and they're made of a traditional Portuguese pavement style. The black stones are made from basalt, which is a volcanic rock found on the island, and the white stone is limestone that's imported from Portugal. And they use the black and white together to make these beautiful geometric patterns or florals or maritime patterns. They're a little bit different on each street. It makes for a very beautiful scenery.
It's really something I haven't seen before. Like everything being monochrome. But beyond that, the buildings themselves are really colorful. So it's a strange juxtaposition. I just find it so beautiful, right?
It was gorgeous. Some of the streets were quite narrow, with maybe barely a foot of sidewalk on either side. So you need to be careful not to get run over. We stopped in for a snack at Costco Coffee Shop, which we highly recommend. They were wonderful. We'll put a link down below. At least I thought it was going to be a snack. I ordered the roast duck waffle, which I imagine would be a few slices of roast duck on a waffle.
But that's not what happened.
The coffee here was delicious. Dave got a traditional Cascara Portuguese breakfast, which included fruits, yogurts, breads, and some wonderful grass-fed butter. You could really tell that the cows are pasture-raised on this island because the butter tasted phenomenal. So here's the duck. It was a whole leg quarter roasted and an egg and mushrooms. It was phenomenal. I raved about the waffle to everyone on the ship after I got back to the ship.
Yeah, after that little snack/brunch, we just continue walking around, exploring the lands, and just seeing some just beautiful architectures. We stumbled onto this park, which also has that black and white volcanic/limestone type pavement. Just lovely. By this time, some clouds and some weather was slowly rolling in, and we can kind of feel the pressure change in the air.
Here's another beautiful Baroque church. These are a family we befriended way back in Miami. They were at the same hotel and on the same boat. We even saw them in Barcelona after disembarking.
You know how it is. You meet people on the cruise and you become lifelong friends.
Here's one of those skinny sidewalks. One of our side quests, we call it, is to see botanical gardens. There's a botanical garden on this island called Jardín Botanico Antonio Borges. It costs €5 each to get in, which was about $5.66. $5.66 each. It was built in the 1800s and it is gorgeous. There's a lot of wild chickens. There's imported plants from Australia, bamboo garden, and a mix of rainforest plants. There's quite a bit of rainfall on this island, so it made for a very interesting botanical garden. It was really beautiful and worth the €5 each.
Yeah, this was the biggest banyan tree I've ever seen in my life. It was enormous and just majestic. Everything is so green. You can't tell this weather has a lot of rainfall here on this island. It's just so interesting how different everything is. They have foliage from all around the world, and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, don't drown in the lily pond, though. They're very clear about that. There's about 40 inches of rainfall per year on the island. So there were plenty of ferns and moss, loads of chickens. Right around here, it started to rain on us, but there were enough trees overhead that we could still enjoy the botanical garden.
Yeah, we're definitely seeking some cover from the rain now. And we found it in this bamboo forest. Yeah, I was not expecting to see bamboo on this island, that's for sure.
There was a reception area set up for a wedding reception in this building.
We were trying to crash it, but we didn't.
A lot of beautiful flowers, and we discovered a tiny wedding chapel from the mid-1800s that was behind the reception area.
There's all sorts of these winding trails, and there's hardly anyone there too, huh?
There was hardly anyone there. We love being out in nature, and botanical gardens in every one of our destinations are usually either very low cost or free, so we make it a point to seek them out. Here's the wedding chapel. It was just charming.
Yeah, it was a small chapel, but pretty ornate. It had definitely had a nice feel to it, like very calming. We sat there for a while too, I think.
Yeah.
Just to soak in the atmosphere and to think about all the people who've been here and all the history this building has seen. Look at all this detail. It's just gorgeous. I love it. Yeah, I think we're feeling it just a little hungry by this time, but we gotta say goodbye to those chickens before we leave, huh?
Toward the end of our port time, it started to rain pretty good. So we ducked into a local bar and coffee shop for hot lattes and a treat. They had two types of Portuguese tart there, a classic egg tart and one made with white soup beans. And we loved the one made with beans. It was called, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, so forgive me, viewers, Quejadas de Fejeo. We stopped at a port, Ponta Delgada in the Azores. It's part of Portugal. And we love Portuguese tarts at home. So we're gonna try some Portuguese tarts in Portugal. And I'm so excited. They have a milk tart, milk custard, and this one's a bean custard. I never tried that at home before, so let's check them out. Everybody's super nice here. Very good custard. It's caramely. That's not too sweet. Thumbs up. Let's see what this bean one's all about. Interesting. It has like a little, not sure what the crust is made of, but let's go in. Oh wow. I don't know what kind of bean it is. Maybe a little bit similar to mung bean. I don't know if they use that in Portuguese cooking, but this is my favorite so far. Catch you later. The man working the counter was so proud of his bean tarts. He said they were made in-house and not by a bakery. Connecting with locals like this is one of our favorite parts of traveling.
All right, by this time, we were nearing the end of our port time, so we were back on Google Maps and walking downhill back toward the boat.
Here's a sardine boutique. If you've never been in a sardine boutique, check it out. They had a lot of different flavors and styles, and it was cute, but I didn't want to pay 17 euros for a can of fancy sardines, so I just looked and took a pass on buying.
It was beautiful to look at, though. All kinds of different flavors and oils that they soaked in. It was really nice. This lady told us all about it, too. And this is our last view of Ponta Delgada. Okay, well, thanks for spending that day with us. We sure had a great time. Have you been to Ponta Delgada? Let us know below. And if you have, what'd you do on this island? If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe, right?
Right. We'd love to take you along with us on our journeys.
Yeah, and it will help our little tiny channel grow. Until next time,
Bye.
bye.